afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting and riveting, amazing Propagandacast from me, your host, Imperial Dane, Master Propaganda, Hero of Sight, Defender of the Fatherland, your Lord and Master, who drives you ever onwards. Off here to a 1 vs 1 on Kholodny Ferma, the ever so familiar roads and wooden houses of Kholodny Ferma. In the west, we got Paul.A.D here. Under a different name, but this is Paul.A.D from what I can tell. Fighting for America, freedom, democracy. Taking on the role here of the 1st Armored Division tasked with breaking through this German-held position under the command of Ashablois, who's also a high-ranked Wehrmacht player and Axis player in general, fighting here for the German army, also allies, really, but not really one I've been casting a lot. Anyways, taking on the role here of the 272nd Infantry Division, we got Jaeger Infantry, Blitzkrieg, and Lightning War, with Panzerfaust Infantry Machine Gun, Paul.A.D here with Mechanized, and double machine gun plus bazooka range bulletins. We got straight fast Dodge military truck here for Paul.A.D to motorize his infantry to strike fear and speed into the hearts of the Germans. Ashablois here with the Grenadiers, MD-42 setting out here, Pioneers sweeping southwards here, MP-40s clenched tightly in their hands, ready to shoot at anything looking suspiciously olive green at any point in time. Dodge truck moving ahead. And apparently can grab territory, didn't know it could do that. I'll go figure. Sandbags up here, nice spot, grabbing the point here, somewhat efficient camping order. Some players with Russian machine gun towards here, it looks like that's what Ashablois is doing, but in this case, so the Dodge truck filled with riflemen is going to put a bit of a dent into that plan. Ashablois is going to eat the Grenadiers up here to back things up, otherwise, well, fine, the Grenadiers a bit, the MD-42 a bit router, but there you go, Grenadiers moving up. Sadly, not enough munitions for a Panzerfaust right away, so bit of a drive-by here by Paul.A.D, going straight for the car point, daring Ashablois to attack into it. Second Grenadier squad out here, they're more rifling up for Paul.A.D, quickly popping up, rifling on the Dodge truck to do stuff elsewhere. Not a bad idea at all. I mean, it's not going to participate in the fighting, so better to use it in, more useful situations. Quickly popping out here to do some repairs at the front line while trying to seize the centre victory points, although their position in such a manner they exactly cannot do that. Riflemen suppressed, Ashablois linking up the Grenadiers to quickly shoot down his armies, MD-40 up to even more advancing riflemen here from Paul.A.D and there you go, MD-42 though. Just in the nick of time, man, to cap poor Paul there and blow him to bits. Send the rifleman with Joe, Tommy, Bob, and Billy Bob running. Dodge truck there, fixed up, need to get going. Point secured as well. Some heavy fun here in the early moments as well between these two experienced players. Third Grenadier squad almost down there for Ashablois. Point there being secured. Grenadiers advancing here swiftly and solidly. Dodge truck there getting upgraded with the 50 caliber. Of Norfolk Grenadiers gaining the re-echelons. Quickly getting someone dead. And certainly with a lot of Dodge truck out there, machine guns to an extent, while still will feel a bit more risky, so I can certainly understand here going for more Grenadiers easily. I mean, this is what most round players do anyways, but versus the Dodge truck, I think more than anything you want more Grenadiers to just have the ability to try and catch with Panzerfaust, and that way screen the MD-42. Grenadiers pushing northwards here in the south, a bit of unit forgotten there, should get that moving as fast as possible. Or is it sandbags being laid up? That is what it is. Grenadiers moving back, Dodge truck there is going to probably pick up a payload of riflemen. And sending the armor piercing around here, quickly hammering away at the riflemen moving up here through the central house. Keeping them in bay and also pretty much keeping the Dodge truck away. Lieutenant out, and we got an immediate follow up here with a cavalry rifleman for Mr. Paul.A.D. Adding some submachine gun equipped chaps. They can of course be upgraded with a few extra Thompson submachine guns for a bit more power, though technically the Thompson and the Greased gun would roughly have the same level of firepower. The only difference is basically the Thompson was much more heavy, which rather made it a lot more unwieldy, also more expensive to make. It might also have a slightly higher rate of fire, maybe? I'm not entirely sure, but roughly, the performance would have been the same, I believe. MD-42 being rushed, this is a bad run for Ashablois. Machine gun there caught in a really bad spot, quickly popping up in one side with the Dodge truck, and there you go, full wipe on Ashablois. MD-42 in the early game within the first 5-minute mark. This is pretty bad for Ashablois. The MD-42 is one of the key elements of keeping the rifle there at bay and certainly keeping the Grenadiers on the field, since one-on-one Grenadiers versus the rifleman is not favoured for Ashablois and the German army. So the loss of the MD-42 represents a significant loss, particularly when you also got cavalry riflemen, who of course can be upgraded with Thompson for just more firepower. So this is a very uncomfortable development here for Ashablois. Meanwhile, great for Paul.A.D, who's picked front up with an ambulance here. Panzerfaust on the scout, coupling up the single. He's got the rat in front. Lieutenant moving in here. It's going to try and get it off. And gets the Dodge truck, but loses the Grenadiers. I don't think that was worth the trade. That is a massive loss in the early game of rafting it off, trying to take out the rifle squad. They didn't quite work out, so down to just 2 grenadiers and 1 pioneer at the moment, while he's basically just lost a dodge strike. That is a significant difference, in particular, of course, there's a lot of angry American infantrymen, and he's also cutting off the fuel here for Ashablois, and showing that Paul.A.D, on top of just getting a lot of damage done, will be gaining a fuel edge over Ashablois. So we got Lightning Mechanised company, that's going to be necessary. 2-2 on Magnus is going to be on the table here, and some Panzer grenadiers would not be a bad idea either for Ashablois with their assault rifles. Could put some pressure there on Paul.A.D's rampant baggers. Base troops in reinforcing in the south, coming about here. I suspect he's trying to bait Ashablois grenadiers into the range here of these cavalry riflemen and then cut them to ribbons, but decides he's got better things in the way about for that, so he goes for the grenadiers, and they're good, doing heavy damage. The grenadiers are rapidly routed, though they got more to the rescue here. 2-2 almost done here, and that's something really crucial there versus Paul.A.D, though he can very quickly go for a Stuart light tank, which would certainly make that feel less awesome. But nope, goes for the 50 caliber instead. They can also help versus the 2-2, but it's not nearly as effective, since, you know, it doesn't have a turret and armor. All the way 2-2 out here for Ashablois. No sign of a doctrine. I mean, this stage, Lightning War, Jaeger Infantry could be pretty good, since getting G for the fusion of the grenadiers would be certainly a nice boost there. Plus, in case of Jaeger Infantry, the Jaeger Command Squad would be a nice boon here as well for Ashablois and the 272nd Infantry. Basically getting flanked by the 2-2 and routed. And a shower of bullets and death, and there you go, Ralph Scott moving in, but they are non-veteran, so they have absolutely no way. So in fact, they're caught in negative cover between the grenadiers and the 2-2. A bad one there for Paul.A.D. Quickly suffers a few losses here, no wipes, but still pretty good engagement here for Ashablois. Certainly what Ashablois needs more than anything. These are, you know, just engagement slightly allows for Paul.A.D to be pushed back towards his base. Machine gun rifleman, lieutenant moving up here, or cavalry rifleman. Nothing further from the base of Ashablois. No packs, no Panzer Grenadiers, no additional 2-2s could also be an option here. Got an MD4 to replace 1 lost grenadiers being suppressed. 2-2 there with a damaged engine. Oh, snot. Biscuits. Camera rifle going to the 10 following up here as well. He's going to probably try and pop the anti-tank satchel, though theoretically, if Ashablois plays this correctly, the 2-2 could be turned against the cavalry rifle and maybe catching up with it. Rifle nearby, there you go, pops it. Can the 2-2 get close enough to do some damage with the anti-tank satchel? Oh, the lieutenant gets caught up on it and gets wiped. Paul.A.D there should have been more careful. A small victory here for Ashablois in a sea of not so good things. Still, Carve Point has been cut off again. We can see up north, trying to return the favor, but they just quickly disrupt here with the rifle and the echelons. 50 caliber Marines can make it much harder here for Ashablois to perform a defense of the fuel point. Still losing the 2-2 is unpleasant, even if the lieutenant paid the ultimate price there for the attempt. Paul.A.D quickly replacing the lieutenant, not a bad idea. The lieutenant is just basically a good rifleman unit, since you basically get a rifle squad, but with a Thompson submachine gun on top there, which is just absolute gravy. Plus, if they get grenades, you get access to both grenades and smoke grenades on the same infantry unit. So, lieutenant is just a really good unit to have. And before coming from the church on the rifle, and their victory points wise, Ashablois actually slightly ahead of Paul.A.D here, which is actually kind of impressive in a sense. Telemines up north, they're not bad work there by Ashablois. Noting no grenadiers will upgrade the light machine guns, manpower being floated a bit there, not entirely sure what is being considered here. Panther grenadiers would be a personal favourite, but goes for a sniper instead. Versus the Americans in that. I mean, he could cancel it for more grenadiers. I personally prefer Panther grenadiers. I know the MU-42 could also, I think, be a really handy dandy tool here, but you know, a 4th grenadier squad is certainly not a bad thing. I just feel like there could be better things, and that's also an important distinction to keep in mind. Just because something might be perceived as better doesn't mean the other things are necessarily bad. My name's Rifleman ahead here, going to do something about telemines down there. Good telemining, by the way, thumbs up there. Our players tend to be a bit sloppy with mining, but in particular telemines in the right place can really hurt the opponent. Possibly trying to, you know, cut off any sort of Stuart light tanks that Paul.A.D could be tempted to go up for, but there's so far no sign on that. In fact, got a mortar on the way. He could even just, you know, try and take up. Sandbags up there, and the south point's being secured. Rifleman moving up. Almost got the fuel point under neutral there. Small strategic victory there for Ashablois. If the fuel point can run neutral and that way deny a little bit of fuel to Paul.A.D. Of course, he's still got so much, so you know it's not going to be felt right away for sure. But even a little bit can have an impact in the longer run. Counter-offensive sneaking up. He's south for Ashablois is actually open. Focusing on the centre north for now. Could be a bit risky here. But it's very minded. There you go, Pioneers routed. We got minesweepers up over here now for Paul.A.D. Probably having seen some of the mines being laid down. He takes no chances, as he should. And so it's about clearing them out. Gundies reinforcing. Flooding manpower. Seems a bit of indecision there by Ashablois. Pentagon could still be an option. Machine guns, a mortar. Pack 40 would be half bad either. Bunker up though, which is not a bad idea either. Hasn't got a medic bunker up. Right now, Paul.A.D. is swarming forwards, using a lot of them out. I'm surprised he's not trying, to push for some fast armor here. I mean, he's more or less. Oh, he requires. Yeah, you need either sort of an upgrade here. You need this one, so he can't actually. I guess that's a small relief there for Ashablois. And we see him reinforcement going for a sniper again. Definitely wants the sniper out to try and bleed up Paul.A.D. But this is right now in the process losing a lot of fuel to Paul.A.D. Not that he's using it very efficiently. And goes to the captain for that extra infantry squad. Also got weapon racks on the way there. To upgrade his infantry with BARs and bazookas. Definitely a good idea there. And certainly he could have gone for, upgrade here. But if he just pays a bit more, he gets access to an extra infantry unit. Which also has a submachine gun. So, pretty handy dandy. Plus he can call in anti-tank guns in case gets caught off guard by Ashablois somehow rushing out a tank ahead of him. Though so far the chances of that are looking somewhat slim. 272nd Infantry Division falling back in the face of the 1st Armoured Division's onslaught. Snub moving ahead here with a scoped give air for the free, and there you go, pops the head of some poor Yankee. And it is moving up. Nothing up always, still no upgrades here for any of Ashablois' grenadiers. Kind of figured at least some light machine guns here. So far Ashablois has been very much adamant about not going any upgrades. So up north, MD42 being flanked by the Lieutenant. Nice work there by Paul.A.D. The South 5th cover routing Ashablois' infantry. And the sniper got routed as well. Got the captain out. Does not look like he's further taking it for medium armor, which he can by now begin doing. More to the caught by the grenadiers and routed. Would have been nice if Ashablois if the mortar could have been pilfered, but seems to have avoided the grasp of the Wehrmacht. Bit of skirmishing here. Healing enforcement take up there for Ashablois, meaning, well, faster tech for tier 3 than the Americans. Oh, there we go, got it going as well. And so he has the advantage of already having sufficient fuel. And, of course, on top of that, no need to actually build a building since the tech and the building happens at the same time. Rifleman captain moving about. Fresh push into the southeast now, moving in, trying to catch that 50 caliber. Instead gets caught by the 50 caliber rifleman. It goes off though. Gets some of the 50 caliber crewmen. There we go. Routed. Still can able to grab the fuel point there back. M4 moving up. Push for the centre as well here. Camera rifle moving in, spraying the crouch there with some good old fashioned American Liberty lead. Need to quickly do some damage to those. There you go. Got one fellow. Camera rifle moving ahead here. Further cash is piling up, and there's a need to retreat pretty swiftly. Farther up north, we're going to push here from Paul.A.D. there as well. Seems to have more been a pursuit. And there going the centre lieutenant could go down again, but no. One man survives. One man lives to tell the tale. Back here, take up done for Ashablois. In Paul's base, take up is also done, and he can go for the 76mm Sherman, he can go for the regular Sherman. You could also theoretically go for a tank destroyer, but with the certain lead he's got there, the regular tank would be the best choice. I mean, if you go for the regular Sherman, upgrade with the bulldozer blades just to make it harder for Ashablois to kill with even a pack 40. That wouldn't be a bad choice. Plus, could be allowed to lay down covered with it. But so far, the only player I've seen really done that was Dave. Actually, not Dave. It was Twisted Tootsie. He hasn't been around for a bit actually. He's not very seen. Got this ground the southern fuel point. 8 troops in reinforcing. Sniping up Pete. 2 kills. Rather than taking man losses, there you go, pushing the losses over the captain. Come, he's caught in a bad spot, need to be careful, 4-6, 4-6. So Paul McCart there for Ashablois. Paul.A.D by the way, still not going for any tanks. That certainly seems a bit of an oversight here strategically. And definitely something that could give Ashablois the breathing room needed to, counter-attack with a tank. Captain there getting sniped out, 6 kills on the snipe, so Paul McCart almost done. Bit of short on resource for anything besides a Stug right away on Ostwind, and certainly considering the resource situation though, Stug should be the priority there, and not on Ostwind. Ostwind I think would be a bit suicidal, and ill-considered. Like putting on your favourite lead boots while it's, thundering outside. Gunny's being attacked by the lieutenant and the cavalry rifle in their full retreat. It could be too late since there's just so much firepower. The Gunnies are taking heavy damage in a matter of seconds. Even on retreat, it may not be enough to survive. There you go. Looks like Lucky Ludwig makes it again. He probably doesn't give himself very lucky. And before they're getting flanked, needs to turn about fast enough, but can it happen fast enough here in the wake of Paul.A.D's assault and air gun machine being shredded here by heavy automatic fire from the cavalry rifle lieutenant, but upgrade with bars as well. And there you go, machine gun down. Pioneers they're being rushed as well here by the cavalry gunners trying to take out the lieutenant, but only gives the cavalry rifle more time to shoot the pioneers to bits. And there you go, a wipe here as well. 2 units wipe, flamethrowers drop. Ashablois can recruit, of course. The machine gun to grab the flamethrower back, but even still, that's going to be a bit of a blow there, considering absolutely no casualties of the serious kind were suffered by Paul.A.D there. So Paul McCall, though, is ready to push out a tank soon enough. Paul, though, remains untanky. Not entirely sure what's up with that. I feel like Paul.A.D is missing out on an opportunity to just push out an armor edge against Ashablois' fast front, considering that Ashablois right now has absolutely no anti-tank guns. Of course, that'd be huge. So it is a bit surprising that Paul.A.D seems hesitant. Still, got another push for the cuff point there. Pioneers on the way there for Ashablois to replace, well, the ones lost here. I mean, it's going to need them out of the way to repair the tanks once they arrive. It's the Panzers. 5th Cavalry hammering away there. Veteran 2. Now moving out with 10 kills, halfway to Veteran 2. Ashablois very close to the Panzer 4. Paul.A.D at this stage can go for any medium tank he wants. He can go for tank destroyers as well, but the question is, at the moment, why isn't he? Has he forgotten about it? He's just so caught up in the fighting and the pressuring of Ashablois, but he's just not considering it. Does he want to see what Ashablois does first, before then reacting with a tank of his choice? A tank destroyer, and that's it. Cat just knocked down a lamp. Pretty durable from IKEA though, so no damage done. Mostly plastic, really. Up north, Lieutenant Cavalry then pushing back the Grenadiers. Heavy fire there being unleashed upon them, grabbing the northern victory point. Lead now here for Paul.A.D and the 1st Armoured of the Germans with the 272nd Infantry Division. Panzers on the way there for Ashablois, and Paul.A.D, of course, still not going for a tank. I'm a bit mystified as to that one. Might be, of course, he's just playing around, but that's usually a bit dangerous. Oh wait, that means Ashablois will have the Panzer edge, but of course Paul.A.D can easily respond with a horde of tanks or tank destroyers of his own to quickly lock it down, so we're not exactly talking a massive edge here for Ashablois. So now they're getting Veteran 2, almost got the 5th Cavalry crew there. Mortar going to get spotted there. Noting one Grenadier squad has at least finally been upgraded with something, in this case an LMG-42. Filling it as the captain, down the centre victory point. There we go. Panzer IV out here for Ashablois. Adding a pendulum mounted machine gun on top there for added anti-infantry business. Very good, very good. Some players tend to underestimate just how much they can add, but it's basically just like adding an LMG-42 on top of them. The other missions to small direct damage, and that way actually, you know, shred away at infantry decently enough. Until we get like several Panzer IV command go. Yes, the Panzer IV Rise does go for the Jackson tank destroyer, but I mean, he just had a tank out much sooner, which would probably weight the tank, allowed him to get out more tanks, even in larger numbers. It feels like a bit of a strange choice here for Paul.A.D, but ultimately it's his choice. Panzer IV soon looks like he's going to go for the ambulance. Paul is desperately trying to get the ambulance away. Didn't work out, and that was an easy killer for the Panzer IV. Small tactical victory there. 5th Car being flanked here with the Panzer IV's one machine gun fire there, raking down the crew alongside the main gun here, almost taking out the 5th Car entirely, and in fact secures a wipe there. Huge. Paul's forces are getting quite disrupted here. Punished for the hubris. Display it there. Hot pursuit of the Panzer IV. Jackson tanks are arriving here for Paul.A.D, the M36 Ashablois without a doctrine. I mean, we're headed the 20-minute mark and it's using nothing. That feels a bit inefficient. Raffinet being crashed, but they're getting off then. Tank Raffinets and the Panzer IV damages an engine. Going to use punishment back up and here up close versus the Panzer IV. The machine guns are going to do quite a number. They've got grenades up, taking out one of Ashablois' grenadiers and the one with a flamethrower there. Got to push in here. The Panzer IV's in a bad spot. We got to pack foot up to back it up, but this is a really awkward spot here for Ashablois. No force to cover the Panzer IV. Jackson going out the pack 40 to support, and that's it. Now they're hitting on the Panzer IV. Jackson down to less than half health though. Gets behind the house, but he's almost down. He's going. Looks like he's going to try and get up, sneak up a shot there. Pack 40 turning about. Can he get it? Nope. Shoots the house instead. Pack 40 in the hand does not get the Jackson either. Pack 40 that is, not Pack 4. Grenadiers moving up. Panzer IV needs to build more distance between it and the rifle. Cavalry rifle routed. Grenadiers going in for the Jackson. Sniper plinking away in the south. The 18 kills, very close to death. Ashablois was able to avert another disaster here. Really close one there. And the 50 caliber gets wiped here. That is a small win there for Ashablois. Can grab that one and turn it against Paul.A.D. So that's going to be of help there. More to the Barbary rather forwards.
The capture point is being overrun.
Bit of skirmishing here. Paul, having suffered heavy losses, will find himself struggling, I think, to build up a large armoured force now, since the manpower is 10 carabiner and air 50 caliber alongside the grenadiers almost takes out Paul.A.D's mortar crew as well. By Job. 50 caliber, they're slowing down the advance, quickly cutting down some armies, and we got the Pack 40 open up as well here. I think mostly is to destroy the caliber. Really should pull back that Pack 40. It's so low in health and numbers that Paul.A.D just needs to sneeze in the general direction. The entire thing just dies. Or the crew dies. Gonna do this versus the Major in the south. Machine gun in the south, though, wiped by American artillery from the Major. Nice work there by Paul.A.D. Panzer IV being pulled back for repairs. Also, fun fact about German army, it had a slight edge over Western Allied tanks, which was actually partly because they actually decided to fight the Soviet armor-piercing rounds, which I believe was sort of soft-core. So what they did is they'd face-harden the armor of the German tanks, and they had a chance of shattering armor-piercing rounds. Turns out that the Allies used sort of, in that sense, apparently the same kind of ammunition. So the Allied tanks would also have, you know, a chance of having their armor-piercing rounds shatter off the frontal armor of the German tanks. Little fun note there, this is known as the Shatter Gap, by the way.
We're losing a capture point.
And was a bit of a problem. More grenadiers of the Ashablois. Still no sign of Panzer grenadiers, still no sign of a doctrine, but disappointed in that one. Paul.A.D, though, once more on the offensive, seizing most of the map here.
Capture point is under attack.
Sweeping up terrain. Grenadier is done. Ground tear drop north here with the 50 caliber machine gun. Now the Germans had nothing like a heavy machine gun like this. They closed the gap was they actually increased the warmer door and used the 2cm flak for that. And in fact, on some early organisational charts for the German infantry division, you might see the anti-aircraft unit and the 2cm flak being referred to as a heavy machine gun company, but that's about it. But obviously they weren't designated as that, but they kind of got used for it as it particularly against the Warm and Dawn. And the 2cm flaks were less used against aircraft. They were primarily used in the anti-infantry role. Jazz coming ahead here up north. Big engagement there. 50 caliber holding down Paul.A.D's assault, which is rather awkwardly executed. No smoke screen, by the way. Panzer moving in to assist, and we can see that Paul.A.D's infantry is getting absolutely shredded. Grenade off from the 50 caliber, but not enough here. Not enough. Bazookas opening up and flanking behind the Panzer IV. Almost taken out, but getting caught by Grenadiers in return and taken out here. Heavy damage here to Paul from Ashablois defenders. And the centre here, we got a Grenadier squad being overwhelmed with the cavalry rifle in the echelons here. Down to one cavalry rifle. Need to get that one before the sniper finishes off the job. There, 26 kills. Back here, reinforcement, and we got tank here on the way. That's going to be the 761 Sherman tank. Very good. I do contend he should have gone for that as soon as he could have, and then just build more numbers up here versus Ashablois, rather than just waiting to see what's coming, then go for tank destroyer, and then go for tanks. I feel like Paul.A.D's opportunity would have been much more generous and bountiful had he not gone for tanks faster. But anyways, Panzer IV being repaired up north. More explosions here. We got the mortar hammering away there. Halfway to Veteran 3. Another Panzer IV here for Ashablois. More support for the 202nd Infantry Division, which certainly would not have any Panzer IVs attached to it directly as part of the division, but would have been more sent in from other Panzer divisions to back it up if necessary. Some of these routed here, Cap moving ahead, taking heavy fire here from the machine gun, and the sniper was gaining the ace level. And now we got the Jackson charging, and obviously can't really do a lot versus all this infantry. Again, another reason why the tank would have been nice, in part because the tank can also lay down smoke screens. You know, a lot of utility in a tank like that, like the Sherman. Northwards here, they're adding the 5th caliber, very good. Could have been a bit faster there. Better late than never. In the south, 5th caliber being hauled forward. It's got the Panzer moving up, pin up machine being added. Moving the Sherman further north, looking for any targets. Should be careful not to push too far ahead. I mean, there could be telemounted around here from Ashablois, though. After those two telemounted, it seems like Ashablois has not laid down any additional mines. Still hasn't shown the doctrine. Seizing this on the half of the map. Panzer Force looks to be linking up here. Sherman needs to be careful. It is very much in his zone, isolated. One mistake here could cost Paul.A.D a good tank. Pioneer still being shot at. Pack 40 moving ahead. Paul.A.D's got plenty of fuel there for another tank. The issue basically right now is he's struggling with manpower. But because they didn't go for tanks sooner, so that way absorbs from the fight. And also they smokes from that way, allowing him to have more manpower to spend on more tanks. Which is sort of fun vicious circle that can happen. At some point they just don't go for tanks and opponent does, you sort of end up in this spot again, but just keep having to spend manpower and heavy losses to keep up the infantry going, but that means you can't get tanks because you lack manpower for that, and then you sort of keep sparring out control there. So it can be a bit of a dangerous move there. If you do it, just push for tanks as soon as you can. Transforming it, going straight here for the Sherman, ambushes it, but bounces. The shot, Sherman returns the favour though and easily pierces the Panzer IV Strance armour. In the south, Jackson moving about here, no real German armour about there. And there you go, machine gun crew down here. That's going to be a win here for Paul.A.D. Ashablois, and there you go, the 5th cavalry crew is annihilated. Panzer moving ahead here further on, Jackson straight at it. Pack fire though opening up, eventually 2 game bar. That's really good here for Ashablois. And we could see the Jackson go down, and there you go, the tank destroyer is out of control, careening away. They're crashing into fence and exploding, and the Sherman goes down shortly after as well here. Paul.A.D there might have gone a bit too skittish, and rather end up costing him both of his armoured elements, which of course means his infantry's going to have to bear the brunt of it further, make it hard for him to save up manpower for more tanks. Oh dear. Whereas again, Ashablois now has 2 tanks out. That's going to have a definite advantage here. Since again the tanks can, carry a lot of fighting, there's no tank that's threatening them, so they easily fight the infantry, that way preserving manpower for Ashablois for more tanks as well. Less a vicious circle and more of a nice positive one. A positive feedback loop, if you will. Gunners being routed, grenades going off here, carry riflemen going hard at them, 24 kills, very good. Lieutenants sweeping forwards as well. Panzer force pursuing repairs, close to VT2 there, and the addition of the Schutzen. Lieutenant spotted here by the Panzerkampfwagen 4. Second one joining in the chorus of death here as Lieutenant makes himself rather well known. 50 caliber versus the MG42, the MG42 ends up with the advantage here due to higher veterans, and the 50 caliber moving ahead into its arc of fire. Mortar fire raining down though. Ace level, by the way, very good. Very good there for Paul.A.D. But flanked here by the Grenadiers. Finding funny they call it a potato mash, but that's the name of the nickname of the shield hunter now, not the rifle grenade.
The enemy is overrunning one of our capture points. Point secure. Man out.
Grenadiers on watch. 200 points left here for Paul.A.D. Things look rather different from the early game where he was absolutely dominating Ashablois, with Ashablois just being down to 2 Grenadiers and a Pioneer squad. Now it's Paul.A.D.'s time to struggle a bit here. He's got plenty of infantry, but again he lacks something to seriously threaten the tanks, and Ashablois is handling the tanks quite well. The only sort of concern I would have right now is that no doctrine. Come on, pick one. Panzer in the basins, they're trying to do the best from inside the house, but they find that the walls are rapidly collapsing in the face of the Deutsche Panzerwaffe's arrival. Panzer in there. Veterans one again in the other Panzer 4. A lot of bazooka fire. And there we go. Tank strike number 2 Panzer 4 getting the Schutzen. Bit of extra armour. One of these dodging a grenade there from Paul.A.D. Rifleman about to get wiped out with the Panzer 4s. An absolutely brutal push here by Ashablois. A very strong force here of light machine guns, and of course the 2 Panzer 4s. Jackson on the Panzer 4 could take it out here, could take it out. Capturing up through the Bazooka fire. There you go. Panzer 4 goes down. A nice strike there, and you can take out the other Panzer 4. That would certainly, I think, give Paul.A.D. a good chance to turn the game around back versus Ashablois. But no, has to fall back here. Or at least falls back. Not wishing to probably push his luck further. And it can carry him. Ashablois hereby going for Lightning War, setting up here for Tiger Tank to deliver the killing blow here if necessary on Paul.A.D. and the 1st Armour Division. More and heavier armour support there inbound then from nearby Schwere Panzerabteilung. Also fun fact about the Panzer 4, but with the armoured skirts added to it, it is actually commonly mistaken for a Tiger tanks, and because it looked big and sort of had a silhouette somewhat similar, in particular to an untrained eye, that made it look like a Tiger, resulting at times, there'd be a lot of Tiger kills reported when rather they just took out Panzer 4s. So a little fun story there. 5th Cav rifleman yet here. Jackson out for Paul.A.D. of course. Still could do with more tanks. Still has plenty of fuel for it, but again, the vicious circle of bleeding rather has left Paul.A.D. unable to push that advance. There you go, smoking off in the centre, trying to hit, but the machine gun there was a bit more well positioned than Paul anticipated, and the smoke screen basically did not cover it. Then probably Lieutenant smoke screen there. There's a good flank up. You got the Jackson in the end here, but they're lacking any sort of serious anti-infantry firepower here. No tanks and nothing else. The cavalry rifle, by the way, are on the move, but they're not quite at the front line yet. Machine gun there could stuff up things, and the unit got wiped. Up north looks like they got stopped hard by the Panzer 4 here. Ashablois very close to the Tiger tank. Another unit bit the dust of the captain. Annihilated. Machine gun actually taken out. Things looking pretty horrid here for Paul.A.D. now. Tiger tank over here for Ashablois and the 272nd Infantry Division. Almost got the Pioneers there. 5th car wiped out. Jackson going for the Panzer 4. Veggie 2 gain on this 2nd Panzer 4. Tiger tank arrives here. 48 points left here. Could take out the Panther most likely unless some really bad luck happens. There we go, out of control. And pop goes that weasel, but then drives straight into the Tiger tank. Did not see that one coming.
We just lost a medium tank.
And with that, I think Ashablois he has a definite advantage. With the Tiger tank, a lot of infantry, and Paul.A.D's forces in utter disarray, and the loss of all of his tanks and tank destroyers. Plus, he doesn't have the victory points either, so this rather looks like GG in favour of the German army. There you go. Game over. Victory for Ashablois. A brutal battle right here on Kholodny Ferma. Really strong start there for Paul.A.D, but he seemed to struggle again, connecting the early mid-game to the late game by again failing to take up for tanks fast enough. I mean, winning there back when he easily could have pushed out several tanks, I think was a mistake. Made it much easier for Ashablois to recover and get into the late game. At that point, mistakes kept coming up for Paul.A.D, allowing Ashablois to slowly but punish these mistakes and build up an edge, destroying Paul.A.D essentially in detail and gaining the upper hand in the long run and winning with the Tiger tank. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. Hope you learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment on it. Tell your friends, tell your family. And if you like what I do, you can donate or pledge on Patreon. Links are in the video description. This is Imperial Links and cheers. Thank you for watching. You're all a wonderful audience. Hope to see you all tomorrow again for another episode. Bye.